we always camp with 2 tents. Got this little valve right here I can turn on, and voila, running water. Heats water like crazy. We've got a 4-inch thick memory foam topper, 12-volt fridge, folding solar panel I should say. We've got the purple Harmony pillows. Hey everyone, this is gonna be a little bit of a longer video than normal, but I wanted to show you our camping setup here. I know a lot of you have appreciated my Sunfly. I wanted to show you a few other things that make camping a little easier for us. So stick around and look at some of this cool stuff. Quick disclaimer, I don't have the Sunfly on the tent yet. This is the first camping trip of the season, early spring, and it's been an extra cool spring this year. So right now we're in the upper 30s. Last night we had a cold front come through. A little bit of snow was in the forecast and what have you, so we're actually keeping the Sunfly off today so we can actually get a little bit of solar heat and warmth from the cold wind that's blowing out here right now. But let me show you a few things. I'm going to come back to the clam tent because there's a lot happening, but let's start out with where we sleep. So we always camp with 2 tents, the clam tent and then this spring bar family camper made in the USA in Salt Lake City, Utah. Absolutely love this thing. It's literally bulletproof, stands up against all kinds of wind and weather and what have you. It's just rock solid. Love the little canopy, so when it's raining you can actually take your shoes off and stuff before entering the tent and not be getting wet at the same time. A couple other things that are worth noting around the back side here. Those hoses right there, I don't know if you can see them. We'll get close up here. Right now I don't have them hooked up, but they have this cool little flap right here that allows for electrical cord, or in my case some propane hoses, and I hook up my propane tank to those, and that powers the buddy heater inside when it gets cold like it did last night. Let me show you inside here quick. So what we've got going on in here, obviously our bed. One of the tricks to a good night's sleep is a good bed, I think. And so why suffer when camping? So we've got the sleeping bag, we've got the purple Harmony pillows. Those are the pillows we sleep on every night at home. We just bring those with. Extremely comfortable. I'm going to leave a link in the description for those. I'm going to leave links down in the description for a lot of the things you see here today, in case you're interested in taking a look at it. But then on top of that, we've got the sleeping bag, and then we've got a 4-inch thick memory foam topper, followed by an air mattress right here. Below that, we've got a Coleman queen size cot, and you can see that just allows us to store a lot of stuff underneath there, and it just keeps the floor space so nice. There's our little buddy heater, kept us nice and warm last night, and you can see we've got tons of empty space. This is the biggest tent that Spring Bar makes, and it's just the 2 of us right now, but we anticipate having more people in the future. Comes with this cool storage unit. It also has a gear loft that goes up here. We're not using that, but it comes with that as well. Super nice. Okay, let's go out here again and just close this tent up so that it keeps the bugs out. That's something I gotta tell you about. If you look right over here, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but right there, we're camped right by a swamp, and the highway's up there. That's why you hear some traffic noise. But we're right here by a swamp. The bugs have been a little bit insane, and so having, you know, this clam shelter to be able to just hang out in and cook meals in and stuff, bug-free, has just been an absolute game changer. So you'll notice our solar panel. This is an EcoFlow solar panel, folding solar panel I should say, and that keeps everything powered up that we need here, which is all in the clam tent. So let's go in there and I'll show you what's going on in here. Okay. So, excuse the mess. We're camping, right? So there's stuff happening here. So solar panel, that's where we left off. It comes and powers our EcoFlow Delta right here. It's just the plain Delta, not the Delta Max or the Delta Pro. Just the plain Delta. Works extremely well, and it's currently powering this 12-volt fridge, and it works so well. We can just carry all of our food that we need in there, stays at whatever temperature we program it to stay, and we don't have to deal with ice or wet food or any of that. We just throw the solar panel out in the sun and away we go. So that's awesome. We've got this propane tank right here. That's the one that was hooked up to our buddy heater last night, but it's since moved into the clam tent, and it is connected to this item that's currently, this is kind of temporary. I'm working on figuring out a appropriate mounting system, but it's currently connected to this Gasland tankless water heater. This thing's insane. It has an input of 41,000 BTUs, heats water like crazy. Which leads me to the next setup. Notice we've got this 5-gallon bottle of water. We've got a hose coming out of it. We follow that hose, comes up the back side here, and goes into this Seaflow 12-volt pump. And that pressurizes the water for us. And then I've built this sink. So we've got just kind of this Rubbermaid container here that acts as the sink, but it also acts as storage for the sink. So when we're not using it camping to wash dishes and stuff in, this sink just works well as a storage spot for all of this. So the pump goes in there, the plywood platform it's sitting on goes in, and then I just built some simple tubing, comes into a conduit piece, works perfect to hold our little sprayer, and then the PVC comes up. We've got a 90-degree conduit turn and a 45, which this flexible tube comes up through, and anyway, it swivels and what have you. We've got this little valve right here I can turn on, and voila, running water. Oh, and that's just cold. And then I've got this sprayer right here, and that just sprays cold water. And then this sprayer right here comes from the water heater, and we have crazy hot water to wash our dishes in. So anyway, call it glamping or whatever you want, but you know, some simple joys of running water while you're camping just revolutionizes everything. So the pump gets its power from this little homemade battery bank I built, and it runs, I just kind of soldered this all up and what have you. I've got a little battery gauge there. I don't know, turn it this way so you can hopefully see. I don't know if you can see, there's a bad reflection, but we're 44% charge still, and you can see I've only got half the amount of batteries that the unit can actually take. Got our drinking water right there. Coming over here, this is not a powered cooler, and it's what we used to use and fill it up with ice and everything like that. Now we call it our pantry cooler, so we just put all the food items in there that don't need to be kept cold, and it works really, really well. So we just got storage under the tables here. This is probably one of my other favorite camping gadgets. This is the Jetboil Genesis Base Camp, I believe. I'll stick something on some text on the video and tell you the official name. But it's just this 2-burner deal, folds up super easily, super compactly. It all fits in this carrying case right here, and you can see inside the carrying case we've got a frying pan that nests in there, and then a lid, and then this right here is actually a pot as well. The stove actually fits inside that pot, and then you just stick the lid on it like so, and the frying pan sits on top of it like that, and then you're able to close it up. So anyway, super easy and super small, you know, it takes up very little amount of space. The other thing that's crazy about it is the flame control and temperature control. You've got so much control. In fact, I can control the temperature better on this camping stove than I can on my standard electric cooktop at home. So anyway, awesome piece of equipment that we love. So we just have the incidental you know, gadgets and parts and what have you, and then we've got our camp chairs over here. So this time around we're not using the floor of our tent. We're kind of camping on dirt, so we weren't super concerned about bugs coming up from the ground or anything like that. And also because I forgot the hose. If we look at the drain on my sink, I've got it coming out into some PVC pipe, and then there's actually hose threads right there, so I can actually attach a garden hose and run the water out the bottom of the tent so that it doesn't create a big mess inside. And that's extra critical when we have the floor in here. But I forgot the hose, so the sink is just draining into the grass right there, or the weeds I should say, for this trip. But next trip I won't forget the hose. So anyway, that kind of gives you a overview of kind of how we camp. We like to have some comforts where we don't go all out with rugs and couches and who knows what else, but some luxuries and things are nice. I'm gonna do a full video on this camp sink, but in the meantime I'll put some links to the pump and what have you, and parts that I use. Very inexpensive. You know, there's other places out there that you know, will sell you full kits, you know, with, you know, everything you need, and that I guess works, but it sure costs a lot more money than if you just bought this stuff separate like I did. Anyway, hopefully that was helpful, and you had fun seeing our full setup.